Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of the No Name Podcast. This is going to be a slightly more casual episode because it is me, your host, Mrmoopsy, and
Jazz. Brothers
and
too.
that's about it.
It's not for lack of trying.
No, it really isn't. It's just bad scheduling because Edward still is off having a job, and Venom is kind of half making excuses.
As usual.
Yeah,
Probably stealing bagels somewhere.
from his job. But so yeah, and Raz is still off in parts unknown.
Yeah. Raz is on the Eddie side of, I understand if she's not there.
Yeah, but I mean, we have no further need to go in depth into that.
Yeah. But you just have us two, so enjoy.
Yeah, casual mode.
And it is January, so it's not like the show isn't stopping anytime soon. But so today we're going to be talking about basically Delay City as it's happened in the last couple of weeks with Final Fantasy VII, Avengers, and Cyberpunk 2077 all getting delayed, some more than others, and of course hoes are being mad. Then we have PlayStation skipping E3 again, and is E3 even relevant anymore? We have the top 5 best and worst games of 2019, if we have a worst of that or whatever. And the Joker and the 5th character of Smash being revealed and the reactions to both of them. And let me tell you, that's quite a split thing. And then we have the New Year's resolutions and our last year in review as the pod. So, let's get to Delay City first.
Hooray!
So, Final Fantasy VII, it got delayed a couple weeks. And there was literally somebody that was on their post saying that they canceled their pre-order.
Because we're supposed to give a shit about what he thinks.
Exactly. It's like, okay, you've waited how many years? A couple more weeks? Nope, can't do it. Sorry. But then
that one extra week that broke him, Jazz. He was too weak.
Man, I couldn't last, guys.
He didn't want the titties bad enough.
What are you, gay? No. But then, like, of course, I'm sure my friend here is don't care. I mean, as long as the game's great, who cares?
Yeah.
And there's the only problem I have with this is that now I have to keep even more diligent now off social media for this game because of the recent leak that happened. Where somebody there was a demo that apparently got leaked on PlayStation Store during the holidays. And it got leaked out, and somebody actually took it and got the files off there and basically almost has the entire game now, for the most part. So
Shit.
They know basically everything and are leaking it like crazy. So I myself has literally deleted the word off of Twitter itself, Final Fantasy Remake. So I don't get those posts. But now that there's more weeks that you could possibly be spoiled on it. So that's the only real downside, I think, to the whole thing happening on Final Fantasy VII. What about you? What do you thought of it?
I mean, I guess ultimately for me, it's a case of my biggest question has always been about like the whole turn-based combat system thing, about how it became a possibility. In terms of it getting delayed, I'm not really against it, but I guess you could say it will start to approach that level of when a game gets delayed for too long, and then we get that whole Duke Nukem Forever fear.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I don't think we have to worry about that just yet, but if there is another delay, though, then I will say fucking hold on to your hats.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other side. Mainly because a lot of Duke Nukem stuff, it's like they showed it, and then there was a big bunch of years after it. If they show this, they've showed this one now, versus like way back when they really didn't have much to go off of. Except for screenshots. But they've actually shown a pretty interesting product right now, and they've only delayed it a couple weeks. Now, if they start doing like years again, like Duke Nukem did, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm on the other way. If they delay it another time after this, I'm okay with it. I want the game to be good. As Miyamoto, that's right. Is that it?
The whole thing about a game that is released too early is bad forever kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah, that's Miyamoto.
Yeah, as he said, I'm all for that. Same with these other two games. Although I do have a sneaking suspicion of why Avengers is getting delayed. But yeah, that's my thought process on that delay. But let's move on to Avengers, which is I'm thinking this one's getting delayed because of the backlash it got, which is the fact that the Avengers don't look like their counterparts, which is fun, in my opinion. But I think they also look gross.
I mean, yeah, of course, like that was the earliest versions of them, which is why, of course, they're not gonna look fucking perfect. I will say though that when you say they don't look like their counterparts, I'm guessing you mean the cinematic universe counterparts.
Correct. Although to be honest, they don't really look like the comic book runs either. But
yeah, because I will kind of admit that because I think you might be able to see that on the reaction video from E3 that we weren't really digging the looks.
Yeah, they look kind of gross.
Yeah, so we're on that boat too. My thought process is though that since it was an early build, I was willing to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any pictures since that last time. So I don't know if they actually did improve like the character models or anything.
From at least the last thing I saw, which was the reveal of Miss Marvel, not really. And like she was like the big new character they were introducing. I think there was another character they introduced too, but she was the big one in the forefront.
Right.
Not really anything graphically looked like it changed. Like you know how like NRS they'll have like a face. It's just like wow that looks rough, and then the next one it's just like wow that looks amazing. Yeah, that didn't happen.
I mean, because when's the game supposed to come out?
Some point this year.
Yeah, probably like Q3, Q4 at this point.
Yeah.
We can only hope that they fucking actually end up fixing the faces, or if not, they pull King of Fighters, where like post-launch they end up fixing that. Because from what I remember in the reveal trailer, they made a big stink about like all the actors that they got and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, we're gonna tell you like an amazing story. Meanwhile, everyone in the chat's fucking shouting, "Fix the faces!"
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully they do still, but only one way to find out.
Yep. And that's whenever we get to see another big one.
Yep. I honestly haven't been keeping track of it because I'm a little curious. I will admit I'm a little curious about the whole like multi-character system because it's kind of like what they do in the Lego games, if I'm perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hell, if it's good, I'll give it a shot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm on the same boat Mrmoopsy is. It's just that I hit that when I learned about how the co-op was technically supposed to be ran. And it was just like, that's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for literally me being able to play a character and my friends being able to play a character and we just do shit in the game. Not, oh, you have to go to this certain secret place in this certain play area and then you can play with your friends in a mission of sorts. Which is probably going to be like beat all the enemies at some point or something like that.
Some super basic bitch bullshit.
Yeah. It's like,
wow.
man, I'm not sold on that. I can do that now in a lot of games.
I mean, hell, just like take the comparison I just made. Just play Lego Marvel and you could get the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no, technically a better one because you'd be able to play along with the story too.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like what I was expecting, at least when I first heard about it, was Marvel Spider-Man, but with other guys in the world with me.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think that that's the simple approach to it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they're doing this, but you know what? We don't know fully when the game comes out anyway, so anything can change.
Yeah, like we said, as long as it's good, we don't really care.
Hmm. But off to the next one, which is Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this one was actually going to come out in April. It was going to come out, I think, a week after Resident Evil 3 remake. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is, if there was going to be a game that was like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It was going to be this game.
I imagine that it would be, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't get the hype. I don't. It looks nice.
Yes, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's nice too. I'm not playing Keanu Reeves.
But he can talk to you, man. You basically are friends. You're virtual friends with Keanu Reeves.
I'm sure he's my virtual friend regardless.
I think he follows me on Twitter.
I keep getting random tweets saying I'm breathtaking.
At least I think it's him.
But I'm not excited. It just seems like a futuristic GTA thing with weird story. Like, I will say that when they talked about the different ways you can play it, like you can be really stealthy or really gun ho or whatever, depending on your build. That kind of interested me when they showed that in action, but not enough to be like, okay, I can't wait to do this in the game. Like, I actually can wait to do this in the game.
I mean, I will say, because since I am playing Witcher 3, surprise,
Surprise, surprise.
surprise Pikachu face. I like the way that they've been doing. What's the kind of system I'm trying to call it? The chat system or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about.
I think so.
Yeah, like the interactions with people and all that stuff. The way that they do it on Witcher, it is actually really good. It does have a lot of cause and effect kind of stuff. The choices you make and the interactions you have, it can give positive outcomes and extended storylines, or it can give you something negative and you'll just fucking like cut short. You know, it has like a real consequence kind of thing to it, where you can have, I'm on this quest and I fucked up this choice, and I was supposed to get like a legendary weapon from it, but because I told the guard "fuck you," all of a sudden the whole thing's fucking gone. And that's really good. So I can see that level of appeal for Cyberpunk. My only worry is that they might do what Deus Ex Human Revolution did, which is they announce that there's all these different options and ways you can do your stuff. But in like, because they say, oh, you can go all gung ho or you can go all stealth and silent, and it turns out that the best way to actually do that game is stealth and silent. Like, there is a clear and obvious choice which is the route you should go. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. They have been impressing me with Witcher 3, which, I mean, granted, it's an old game, but I mean, good game's a good game. But I'm worried that they might pull a Deus Ex and make it so that ultimately choices are not as consequential as they might announce.
Which is fair. I don't know. I'm just not. But the weird thing about that one is, unlike these other two, granted I don't know how far Avengers has been pushed out, but I know for a fact this one got pushed back months. Like, it's like it was going to be in April. Now it's in September.
I was gonna say it should have been pushed back to Keanu Reeves Day.
Nah, that'd be funny as hell. I'm sure somebody out there be like, yes, do
One
it.
more, one more.
I'm all for this. But no, it's very interesting that they pushed that far back, and yet still even said in a kind of press release thing that even still they're going to be crunching for time, which is no right now as far as gaming industry goes.
Yeah. I would say like in the entertainment industry as a whole, because people are pissed about the whole Sonic movie stuff.
Hmm. We'll see how pissed they were when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting that is the case for this. That it's got pushed so far and still in this area. But I don't know. I do hope the game's good, and I hope we hear more about it soon. I also wonder if it's going to be at E3 now. But yeah,
I don't know, actually, it's a good question.
Mm-hmm. But I think other than that, we have the people being like upset and stupid about that too. Although I will say, funny enough, being petty, that whole yellow on black there, because it's like black letters on a yellow background, and that yellow hurts my eyes. Like,
That's a biological thing. You can't tell your body not to do that.
like, I'm mad because you picked this color and my body sucks.
They come back with that sounds like a you problem.
No, I'm making it a you problem because internet.
No, it should be like this. See, that's how you know you're not an internet troll. Because if they said that to you, you'd be like, "You're insulting me!"
How dare you?
Exactly. Like you're always the victim when you're a bad internet person.
I had the Pikachu face, just like spammed.
With little angry eyebrows over the eyes.
Well, no, I think we've hit the big ones on that one, though. Is there anything else you want to add on this?
Anyone else?
Anybody else? Anyone? Bueller?
What do you think, Raz?
He's popped in out of nowhere. I think, wait a minute.
It's like, were you here the entire time? But the only one that I will say that I give a crap about getting delayed is Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because it falls into the whole thing when my brother and I were that I told you about, that my brother and I were planning on getting some games before his discount runs out.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that, not necessarily, but I mean, my big thing's always been that. Like, I hope the game's good and it's got some nostalgic stuff for me.
Which is fair. Well, I think we're done with that one. So now we can
Get out of here, topic.
Get out of here, delays. We don't need you anymore. But now we can go to PlayStation, skipping E3 again. And is E3 even relevant at this point? Ugh.
Is how many times does this make it so that PlayStation skipped E3, like the second or third time?
Second.
Second, okay.
Now Xbox is gonna be there. They promptly said, "Oh, we'll be there. Don't worry, we're there."
I mean, probably like either like a contract or they probably get paid for it, so they'll be desperate for the fucking cash.
Yeah. I just find it like hilarious. It's just like I know there definitely was probably going to be the place people thought that they were going to show their console there, but now it's just like we're going to do our own thing and we're going to show our own console, and that's going to be that
with blackjack and hookers.
But at this point, they've done enough to where honestly, I don't blame them. They can do their own thing. They don't need E3, especially after last year.
PlayStation really doesn't, and yeah, like you said, like after last year, after God of War, after Spider-Man, after there's like a third one I know I'm missing. Mm-hmm. But like they've had some really fucking solid games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Death Stranding, duh.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at like all the games in my library that are on the back wall, not the ones like staring right at me.
Nah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not really surprised this happened. Honestly, in the back of my mind, at some point, I did think this was going to happen again. I didn't think it would happen soon, but...
I mean, but that's the thing, though. It's what competition do they have? Because, like I've said this before, Nintendo and PlayStation can coexist. It's not a good thing, but it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Xbox and PlayStation that really cannot coexist. It just so happens that Xbox sucks bad right now.
Mm-hmm. And like Nintendo's gonna be there, and they're on Direct. So technically,
Yeah.
they're not really even there.
In a sense, yeah. It's like a
And-
symbiosis kind of thing.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Last time, and it might have been the whole fact that wasn't big on PC gaming anyway. So the whole PC thing they did was making me snore. But I'm trying to think of what else was there. Oh, I am excited for one part. It's the only part I'm really excited for now as far as E3 goes. I wonder if you can guess what it is.
Let's see. Because there's really only 3 categories at this point, and so I'm gonna say it's something involving Xbox.
Not necessarily.
Damn, I already lost.
Let me give you a hint. There's something that's batshit crazy every year.
Oh, like fucking a presenter fucking up somehow.
Well, no, actually, I'm excited for that too. But no, I was talking about Devolver.
Oh.
I'm actually excited to see what dumb shit they do this time.
Hey, you'll never know until we get a chance to see it.
Although it's sad when that's the thing you're excited for E3.
Yeah, because like, does anybody at this point have any real big hopes for like Xbox at this point? Because I would say there's a difference between like wanting some good shit out of Xbox out of desperation, and expecting good things from Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
I honestly don't
unfortunately,
expect
they're in the
anything.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't expect much of anything. Now, I will say something that will grab a lot of people's attention is if they bring something back that they discontinued before.
Scalebound.
Well, that would be the big one. But yeah, I guess anything that was just like, yeah, we got this game. No, we don't. We got this game. No, we don't. Scalebound. It's canceled.
Again. It's like, why do you guys keep doing this to us?
But if they did that, that'd be great. But I honestly not expecting much at all.
I would say that 2 announcements that, because I don't know if you've heard this. I think I heard it from like Young or like some other random YouTube video, but or I think it was an article. But essentially, it's that Xbox is planning to do limited time exclusivity to the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is limited time exclusivity. It's like I think it goes from like either 6 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like smack my head thinking, you idiots! You're doing the exact same thing you did for the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Which it literally makes zero sense to do that. Like, although PlayStation just recently did something that I'm not understanding why, but it is what it is. But like the reason like people are going to PlayStation is because of their exclusives, minus Horizon Zero Dawn apparently.
Why?
Apparently, it just got announced. Now, I don't know if this is still in Rumorville, but from what the tweets I was reading, it seems like it's confirmed. They're releasing it to PC in a year. I don't know why. They haven't really said anything else about that.
It's possible that it could be like a Guerrilla Games move rather than a Sony move.
Which is possible. I just think it's still very weird that Sony would be like, okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like that's just my guess, because when you think about it, is who stands to benefit from that move? Certainly not Sony. They wouldn't allow that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So who else? So Guerrilla Games, you know.
Yeah. This is very weird. But yeah, it's just Xbox needs those exclusives to make it so that we need to buy your console.
I also think. Go ahead.
Well, that's it. There is one game I know that I would buy your console for, but that's never gonna happen.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yep.
I'll just say this for the people in the know: it has a 2 at the end of it.
Yep. And it ain't gonna happen.
But I think because what I wanted to say is that like Xbox also needs their own like quote unquote Hideo Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that like don't they usually keep running off the people that they keep making deals with?
That's one way of putting it.
Because I do remember that like around the early Xbox era, the original Xbox, they would have like they did have these like big rockstar name people in their company making all these franchises and stuff. But then as the console went along, they kept losing these people and they kept replacing them.
Mm-hmm.
So that at one point now it's just there's no famous director that's connected to them. Excuse me. There's no like secondary face, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like the biggest thing to come out for Sony was when Kojima said, "Yeah, I'll work with you guys. Just fucking make sure you don't fuck with my game." They didn't. Game came out great. I beat it recently, and I gave it a 9.8.
I would say that's one of the big ones because you also have God of War, which has a face there too, and then you have something else that's literally escaping my mind right now. It also has a face.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, because they've definitely got the games in terms of exclusives.
Mm.
But I guess I'm talking more like in a developer sense rather than like the game IP sense.
Which that's what I'm talking about too. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of his name right now because my name's blanking. But like, he's another one on there that's like a face you can literally put with Sony. And the other game is I just can't think of it. But yeah, they have like multiple faces versus Xbox's.
Insomniac and Sony.
Yeah, that too. That's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, like they have those kinds of faces versus Xbox's what? Halo?
And even then from because if anybody else watches him too, well, like I watch the Act Man. He's a big Halo fan, and he's been trashing on some of them. Mm. Like he likes them enough, but he says that like there's like some fundamental flaws in the games too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and when you really think about it, what's currently like the biggest thing in Xbox? Just Halo.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because Mass Effect went multi-platform, and they just kind of like fucked up Royal.
Mm-hmm.
The Killer Instinct, it's not dead because it was bad. It's dead because it just ran out of steam.
I wouldn't say it's dead, especially after what they just pulled off with Max and them. I think it's just they're not, for some reason, going after that game for some whatever reason.
Okay, I guess you're right. Fair enough. Dead's the wrong word, but it's just that it's not advancing. You got season 3 with Tekken. You got season 5 with Street Fighter 5. You got season 2 with Soul Calibur. You've got more seasons, is what I'm basically saying. And
I would argue with that as well because Clarity had like 3 seasons before it stopped.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. Or rather, what I'm trying to say is they're not adding still. Like that's my ultimate point about the whole thing is that they're not adding. The last character to come out was Eagle, either or Kilgore. I think it was Eagle.
Yeah.
And then that's it. We haven't heard about anything for I think a little over a year at this point.
That's been way more than that.
I mean, yeah, like that's what I mean. That's why. Well, I will agree that dead isn't the right word. It's still not advancing.
Yeah, and that's more on Xbox's thing more than anything.
Yeah.
Which, as I say, most people would be like, well, just wait till the new consoles. And then they came out with that report saying they're not working on a brand new fighting game right now. So there's that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely more on Xbox's thing.
They're not doing anything to really power up the brand. They're more slowly dying out because they just want to like grab as much money as they can.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's what happens when you only focus on one thing, which is basically, we have the best graphics. Look at that 120 FPS that I can play nothing on.
Yeah, well, it's either it's that, and they're also just thinking to themselves, oh, well, we can just put it on PC. That's why you're failing the console war.
It's like, oh, let's just give it to the thing that's actually trying to kill the consoles.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not winning there.
No, but it is what it is on that one. We'll just have to see what they do at E3, and hopefully they'll spark some some interest. But because despite whatever I'm saying on it, I do want Xbox to succeed in some capacity and form. Because I'm always and always will say competition is great for business.
Yeah, and I've really like understood that point and really come to accept it, and I embrace it as well. The problem is they're just fucking up.
Yep. But, my friend, the question remains: is E3 even relevant anymore?
I mean, it doesn't help that they lost Sony,
No, it does not.
but I don't know. Like, I still think about what I said about the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were saying that, oh, well, they beat E3 in regards to being a more entertaining conference.
Mm-hmm.
And it still was. But like I also said, it was not a high bar.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was not saying, honestly, E3 is becoming coming more like something else that's happening recently. Becoming more like YouTube and going with celebrities and stuff instead of the actual what they need to be focusing on.
Yeah, I don't know, but although I will admit that part of it is a little bit on the developers, because I'm not going to entirely throw it on all the developers, because I do want to throw it on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when they go like, hey, we've got announcements, it turns out it's all a bunch of shit, but they're patting themselves on the back, basically fucking Jerry. That's a problem. I think if if E3 really wants to like at least buffer up some of their stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should give third parties a chance to really spice up the numbers. Give them like their own sections. Like I remember, it was around. I can't remember the exact year, but it was around when like Destiny was coming out, the original.
Mm-hmm.
That I remember that we'd have conferences for Square Enix, for Capcom, for Bamco, like all of it, like individual third parties, and then and we would also have Xbox and Sony and all these guys, right? They each had like a spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a good step for them would be for them to go back to doing that, because after they absorbed all those presentations into one of the big three, PC or computer or PlayStation, after they got absorbed into that,
Mm-hmm.
it became that much easier for them to put themselves into this position.
So to play slight devil's advocate though for that is when you get to the point to where there's not that much to show for those developers, that becomes a problem of why are you in the slot? Because
And that's true.
you have to look at like the lineup literally for this year for, let's say, Capcom, for example. What do they have this year? Like what? Resident Evil 3? And what else?
Because let me run through everything, because I know they've got some updates for Devil May Cry 5, but that's not fucking, unless it's like a big fucking DLC kind of thing, that's not really worth mentioning.
And honestly, that'll be before E3 as well.
Yeah.
Like,
They've got, because yeah, it's RE3 and that's also before E3.
mm-hmm.
Ultimately, they'd have nothing except just preview trailers.
Mm-hmm. Which
And even that's not a guarantee.
Which runs into another problem we have with E3. Where's the gameplay?
Yeah. Because like I was saying, like the preview trailers, like, because I know Capcom, they had like, nobody's really asking for it, but they've had like something where it's they just show a preview trailer and the game never came out, which was Deep Down. I think it was called that.
Yeah.
Which, they said like, oh, look at that, it's like fucking these Dark Souls looking characters and they're in some kind of pyramid or something. What's gonna happen? Fuck if I know.
Exactly. But no.
So I mean, yeah, it's possible. And I mean, that is a fair point. It really all depends on like how prepared the third party companies are too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was just play devil's advocate. Personally, for me, after what happened at E3, now that I know that it happened, I am interested to see how this E3 is going to be handled with all the influencers, I will call them. Because, well, I don't know if you've heard. Did you hear what happened last year with all the influencers and celebrities and stuff?
No, I don't remember.
So what ended up happening is they all had to put like some kind of data into the service or whatever into E3, and that data actually got leaked to the point to where everybody could literally find out. Like, say you put like your home address stuff or whatever in there, somebody could literally look at that and say, "Hey, I found that your address is such and so forth, and you go here and blah 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 and such, all that stuff."
So yeah, it's basically doxing.
Basically. And that became a huge problem because so many people had their stuff leaked. So now a lot of people are saying they're probably not going this E3 if they have to do anything like that. Which means there's probably going to be a lot less personalities going this time around as well.
And I mean that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but the problem is that it stopped being about the games for them at some point. It stopped being about the games and it started being more about like, oh, check out the celebrities we got showing these things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like that's when they started doing some like downhill type shit.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be interesting because even some reporters and whatnot that are known in the game industry are saying they're probably going to skip this one.
Yeah, they should probably go like as under an alias or something like that.
They just said no, F it, because they have to do that data thing. They can't really go in their alias.
Right. I mean, I'm just fucking throwing random shit out there, but yeah, it's like E3 is just not really putting in the effort as much. That's why it's so easy to just go like, well, the Game Awards is more entertaining, even though they've got their own problems too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, E3 is in a very weird mind. Like, I honestly wonder what the viewership's going to be like this year.
It will be interesting, that's for sure.
But,
maybe they'll announce Jump Force 2.
No, jeez. Top fighting game of the year. But no, that's all I had for this one. Do you have anything?
No, E3 is not really interested in shaping up, so I might as well stop giving a shit.
That's words to live by. So we're gonna skip that one, kick that one out the window, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the top 5 best and worst games of 2019. So, would you like to start first, or should I?
I'm gonna pull up that list I gave you, and then because I can give you top 5. Alright, so let's see.
I do have some worst on here, so just in case.
Yeah, you might need to bust out the worst, because I can get you the best, because those were the ones I gave you.
Alright. While he's pulling that up, I'm going to go with my 5th worst game of the year. The WW2K20. I mean, this game speaks for itself if you've seen anything on it. But the amount of glitches that this game came in with, to the point where it glitched to the... Like, it has a glitch that after the year went into 2020, the game just stopped working. And it's like, huh?
Oh, Ron, I heard about that.
How does that work?
It's got 2020 in the name.
It literally makes 0 sense. Why is there an in-game timer that does this? And the way to fix it is to make your PlayStation 4 go back to last year.
The people programming the PlayStations, no, I don't want to go back to that year. I got dumped there.
Like, how does this work? And you have people with gimp legs just walking down the stage. And then my favorite one is when people just teleport everywhere, so it looks like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Oh, I gotta look up any videos to see if they've got the teleporting sound effect.
I'm sure they do. They have to by now. I'll never forget when Dame posted in her Discord this one that looked like dirty as hell. Like this referee just like going straight into some girl's butthole. It's like, what is happening? Make it stop. And the thing is, they're really not gonna fix it. Really, like it's just gonna be a glitchy mess. Like they fixed the one I told you about, the year change. But other than that, like development for the game has kind of ceased to go.
Because I'm sure that like after that fucking year glitch, like sales tanked, and so they're like, oh, well, if we're not getting money off this, why bother trying?
Yeah, which is so bad. Oh man,
Jesus Christ.
No, but I guess I'll go after that one to my 5th best of the year, which is, surprising enough, Sekiro. And I will admit to you, I was late on this train. Super late, because I don't like games like this.
Oh, yeah, I can see why.
But honestly, I had a lot of fun with this game, despite also raging at this game. I love the music. I love the combat. Granted, halfway through, I will say, it started to feel a little tedious. And that's mainly because you only have the one weapon, unlike in other like Dark Souls-esque games, or even Ninja Gaiden-esque games. Like, you have more than just that one weapon to kind of mix it up or whatever. Here, it's not really as much as the one weapon as you have multiple tools to use with that one weapon.
Right.
So it gets tedious a little bit, but overall, each boss is unique enough to be like, okay, this is interesting and a good fight, and there's more after this. Holy crap.
Did you fight the ape?
Oh, fuck that ape. Fuck him in his second form.
Yeah, because I understand that sentiment, because I did play the first Neo, and so like I totally get where that's coming from. The whole fucking thing of like, oh, you compare it to like Dark Souls, and Dark Souls pissed you off for all the wrong reasons, whereas a game like, I'm just gonna use my example, Neo, or your example, Sekiro, where it pisses you off for all the right reasons. When people say, "Oh, you died and it's fair," those games exemplify it better.
Yeah. Like, I just know, like, oh, I should have been better at parrying, or I should have had this tool. I can go back and get it. It's like, stuff like that I can get behind.
Yeah. None of that fucking, like, oh, they shot an arrow and it fucking magically curved into me. Like, fucking fuck you.
It's like, how on earth did I get hit by that?
How the hell is that fair?
Yeah. But I like Sekiro. I like the story. I like the fact that there's 2 different endings. One very bad ending and one very good ending.
I like that discussion one. Very bad.
I mean, it gets like, oh dear God, I'm a demon.
Oh damn, that is bad. At least are you like cool and in control of your actions?
Oh yeah, like literally, you're in control of your actions, and you're literally killing people you literally call your friends.
Oh damn, that is bad.
But then, like the good ending, there's multiple versions of the good ending. Even, granted, the best ending is something you literally probably have to look up in order to do. Let's be honest here. It's almost like PT levels of, okay, you need to do this, and you need to go around and do a 180-degree no-scope slice, and then, whoa, wait a minute. But no, I very much enjoyed this game. But no, do you want to do yours now?
Oh, well, is it cool if I also do an honorable mention? Because, like, since
sure.
I got mine in, like, super late.
Sure. Go nuts.
because the one honorable mention I want to give, and I feel like you might be kind of surprised, not entirely, is Death Stranding.
I am a little surprised at that.
Because it's not a bad game or anything like that. They took a fucking a concept that on paper you would hear it and you think that this is stupid and it wouldn't work, and they totally make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my thing, like ultimately my thing is that the reason why I didn't make a top 5 is because there's one question that is still unanswered, and also all the good story bits, all the best story stuff comes around the second half. And if you know, and if you are someone that really has fun with the game, that can be a little iffy. Because if in that case, when you're playing it, let me get my words in order here. Don't just fucking
No problem.
I guess most of the story comes in the second half, and if you play it and you're having fun with it, it's not the greatest thing to do, because then at some point it can kind of be a bit of a wash of too much information. And sometimes that can be a problem if you can't keep track of it. And the story, it sort of it takes off jogging, because you probably remember like the day we were just chilling when I was streaming it, and you might remember hearing some of these terms, but you might not even remember what they mean. The whole thing about BTs and the time fall and what they like and all that stuff.
Yep.
It hits the ground jogging, and some of that stuff does get answered in the second half, some doesn't. And brain work, damn you. It ultimately is not bad, because the game is still fun, and I think the best way to put it is the impatience that would come along during the first half is something that would definitely hurt it. Because I'll put this out there for the podcast listeners. After they've sped up all my fucking stops. It's just many different sounds of. But like the ending of it, it shocked me. There, Jess. Fair enough. But it's the ending. It shocked me. The ending, I would like when stuff started piecing together. I was really into it. I was really surprised. I was really hooked. The ending made me cry. There's some parts where like there's some. If I could show you like the right images, I'm sure you'd probably thinking like just like the pictures alone like they look stunning. And it'd be shit from like the final moments, but it still took a bit longer than it should have to get there. But I mean, I still give them props to like the whole idea of delivering packages as a video game is fun. I still give them props for that.
Which is fair.
But yeah, that's part of the reason why that's the reason why it's honorable mentions. It takes a little bit too long. I'm sorry about all the wading through just for the honorable mentions.
What a shit show.
Although, if you know me being a Kojima fan, me just putting it down there is already like gasp. But my number 5 is Arkham Knight.
Really?
Yep. I liked how they tried to implement, or well, not tried. I think they succeeded actually. They did do a really good job of implementing a lot of like the mechanics from previous Batman games. The story, it was just comic book enough so that you can take it seriously, but just ridiculous enough for you to go for it. They got all the voice actors. They even fucking brought back Mark Hamill after he said, "I'm done with the Joker." I think he even ended up going uncredited in the game. It wrapped up a lot of storylines. It had some really amazing moments. Fucking the ending to the Mr. Freeze storyline in that game to me is like, this should be the canon ending to Mr. Freeze. the way that Batman goes out at the end, all of that stuff. I just thought that they pulled it off beautifully. The game gets too much crap for the driving segments, in my opinion, because like they're fine. They're not the worst. And I'm sure that you're giggling because you think you know some people that would probably disagree with me.
Oh yeah, they murder you at the stake.
I'd say bring it, bitches. I'm the Batman. But I think like all the really best and it had a lot of fan service too. They brought back some old maps. They brought back some like iconic things for the franchise. It really did have a love letter feel to it. The only reason that I don't give it a straight 10 out of 10 is because I've got playable Harley and not playable Joker.
And that's why I give it a 10 out of 10.
Well, I mean, yeah, you like Harley more.
10 out of 10.
One for each tit. But I mean, yeah, that's my number 10 or 5.
It's like, jeez. I guess I can go on to my number 4 worst game of the year. Which is a game probably nobody's even heard of in this chat right now, called Dollhouse. Now,
nope.
let me paint you a picture. There's a lot of Slender games that like they copy the original Slender, right? This is the game that you would go to show you how to not do that.
It's the Bye Bye Man, the fucking horror games.
Yeah. This game is quite trash. Like, there's literally 8 levels to this game, right? And every level is the exact same thing. Find some film, get to the film thing to learn your memories, and then move on to the next area. Meanwhile, there's this entity of some sort that's trying to kill you. And it's basically a Slender thing where the more you get the films, the more the monster is coming at you. Now, you're probably going to die a lot in this game. But the problem with that is that when you die, whatever you picked up is dropped there on your dead body. And every stage is randomly generated. So when you come back, it's randomly generated again, and you have to find your body.
That's dumb.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is. Especially the fact that it's extremely hard to dodge the entity's attacks at you. So you're probably going to die a lot.
Because like the smarter move would be it's randomly generated, and it stays there until you move on to the next level.
You would think. But no. They said, nope, I want you to just keep wandering this endless maze of stupidity.
They come off to me as like some jackass that probably thinks, oh, well, I know how to craft video games. I beat Dark Souls.
This is how you make a video game. No, this is not. This is how you make a torture device.
It way does not sound like it at all.
It's like, not only the fact that the graphics absolutely atrocious for a game in 2019, but the fact that even the scares are reused assets every time. It's like, oh, the first time I'm getting hit by some kind of mannequin thing. And then after the 15th time, oh gosh, the mannequin's back. Oh, after the 100th time, the mannequin's back. Why do I keep seeing this shit?
Wow.
Why can't I dodge this shit? And I'm dead. And I was at 7 out of 8, so now I have to find my body somewhere randomly, get those 7 back, and find the 8th one somewhere.
Hey, look, the doll's back.
Damn it, the doll's back again! Who made this torture porn?
At least there's some pleasure in torture porn.
Yeah, this is true. But that's my number 4 worst. And number 4 best is The Outer Worlds. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. Fallout 76 hurt my soul. Because anybody who knows me knows I absolutely adore Fallout 3. adore it. And I have when it comes to New Vegas, and I had fun playing 4, despite its obvious gripes that it has.
Adore it, Moopsy!
But then you have something like Fallout 76 that just keeps getting worse, and I don't know how. Like, that just shouldn't be possible in any way, shape, or form, but it does.
And you keep watching the Young Yeah videos and see that they keep getting worse and worse.
How are you doing this? How do you have the money to even do this?
How to ruin a game, or how to ruin a company with a single game.
Literally, the series just won't find an end. But then, funny enough, the one that I didn't particularly 100% care for, No Vegas, the team there made The Outer Worlds. And I gotta say, I had a blast playing that game. To the point where I'm just like, I don't need you, Bethesda, anymore doing any more Fallout games. Just leave it to these guys. Just don't even bother. Because, like, I mean, honestly, if you like any of those kinds of games, you're gonna love The Outer Worlds. The tree dialogues, the way your stats work, the combat, it's all there. It's all really good. Are you talking to me or them?
Either.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like when you have something that's like literally that good, and I love like when people were comparing it at first before the game even came out, that people are like, nah, we're doing our thing, they're doing theirs. They know good and well that we're going to destroy Fallout 76.
they do good and well. They're just giving them the finger.
You ain't fooling nobody. Like even like the voice acting was fairly good in this game, surprisingly, when it comes to like a game like this. And the amount of lack of glitches is actually astounding because I've been with Bethesda so long in their games. It's like, where are the glitches?
What do you mean I don't need mods to fix the game?
Who are you? Although it is funny that somebody actually found a way to beat the game in less than 25 minutes, I think. But they had to really like find a way to do it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you just do this random glitch that pops up. Like, no, they found it.
And I mean, that's not always a game killer, because there's plenty of games that are just good on their own merits enough so that you can have that kind of thing happen, and honestly you'd probably feel more cheated beating it or like speed running it than you would actually like playing the full game, like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like it was literally off of his point. Like, you can speed run it all you want forever, whatever, but you wouldn't want to. You really want to go through this game and enjoy it the way it is. What else did I wanted to add on Outer Worlds? I do hope there's a sequel because I need them to just erase Fallout from the existence of Bethesda. But other than that, I think that's all I had for Outer Worlds. Really, I didn't want to tell any much about the game itself because it's massive spoilers.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But your turn, good sir.
All right, my number 4. I don't believe you will be surprised by this one. It is Doom 2016.
I'm surprised. I thought you were going to do 2019 games.
Oh, was it just 319?
Yeah, although you're doing your thing, so you do you.
Let me see. Fucking games of 2019. Shit. Because if that's the case, I probably would have done it Death Stranding.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It do be like that sometimes. Because I could still probably, I bet you I could still pull shit out of my ass.
I'm gonna take a quote from Outer Worlds. You do you, man.
But I'm gonna since it's 2019, I'm gonna say Iceborne.
See, I almost put that on my list, but I felt like that's slightly cheating.
I mean, yeah, I guess I can see the point. Although I feel like the game is expanded enough to be considered its own thing. because God knows how many times we've like complained about the amount of monsters in the original Monster Hunter world, uh, and the lack of like layered armors and weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's there's a level cap way shorter than you think it should be for a game that big.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like, you know what, I can still fucking use Iceborne.
Which is fair. No.
But you know what, I'm gonna go for a technicality here. I'm gonna I am going to make Arkham Knight my number 5, yes, but I'm gonna have Death Stranding be my number 4.
Oh shit.
Which means Monster Hunter World's my number 3, which means it's your turn again.
Oh shite.
Big brain plays.
No, I guess number 3 worst games of 2019. Left Alive. This is a game that I actually caught because I stayed up way late watching the Japan conference. It was like for Sony. And I kept thinking to myself, this could be a very interesting Metal Gear-esque inspired game. And they tried, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say right off the bat, the story was absolute trash. The AI is absolutely terrible. Like, I'm not kidding you. There are points where I'm behind a wall, being stealthy, and somehow a person sees me from like 50 yards away. And it's like, how? I'm not even poking my head out. You literally can't see me. And then there are people that are literally like right in front of me that won't see me. It's just like, oh yeah, let's deal with my day. It's like, all right, guys, I'm going home. He doesn't get paid enough, I guess. But yeah, the AI was absolutely terrible. The stealth was really bad, like I mentioned before. The voice acting, I won't say it was as bad as, say, Resident Evil 1, but maybe Resident Evil 2. And it's like it was very awkward pauses. Things didn't make a lot of sense in context. The game is really bad. And
Dang.
on top of that, the textures would very, like, you know how like you're going out and like you see further out and the textures might not be there because you're so far away.
Right.
That would happen, but you would be very close up to the thing.
That's retarded.
That would happen a lot in the game. It's like, this is ever gonna load in? There it is.
Shit.
Left Alive is a trash game. Don't waste your money, ever. Not even if it's a 1 penny. Just leave that there. Let it go. And my top 3 best of the year is something that I thought I would never say because it would come from an EA company.
Nani?
And it is Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not gonna lie to you, this game is very fun. Like, I'm shocked at how fun this game was. And
I will say, well, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, there's a reveal in it. I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but it's with the character I would have thought I would have been tired of seeing by now being revealed. And when I saw that, I was really like, oh shit. You know, what were you gonna say?
Oh, because I was gonna say that if anybody out there hasn't tried it yet, word of warning: the intro is a little slow.
I will agree with that. The intro is a bit slow. You know how things are. They gotta set up stuff and whatnot, and it definitely takes its time. But once it gets going, oh, you're good to go. Yeah. I do wonder if there's gonna be a 2. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it does make me wonder. And I just still can't believe this came from EA of all people.
Well, it came from Devolver, which like they those guys are actually pretty good at what they do. It just unfortunately they happen to be working for EA.
That still just blows my mind. Like, seriously, no microtransactions? What? Excuse me?
It's probably that kind of thing where as the head of EA is signing the contract that agrees to it, like, fucking, he's, like, straining with all his might. You can see all his veins popping out and he's bleeding out his nose. His eyes about to pop out of his skull. Probably gets Super Saiyan aura.
And then they actually just released some free DLC for it.
Oh my god! I mean, I would say, is the president of EA okay? But then I thought, no, fuck it.
He's probably dead. You just don't know it yet.
I mean, I'd be cheering for that.
That's my. I really want to get into this game, but it's massive spoilery territory, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So now your turn with your number 2 pick.
Yee. I broke flow.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so because of all that clusterfuck, I'm just gonna go over the last 3. It was number 5 Arkham Knight, number 4 Death Stranding, number 3 Iceborne. My number 2 pick, I feel like in terms of placement, Jazz is probably gonna be surprised. Because compared to where he might end up having it on his list.
Oh boy.
My number 2 is Resident Evil 2.
I'm not surprised at all. You've typed that up for nothing.
Yeah, because for me, I put Resident Evil 2 Remake as my number 2 because they did so many of the right moves at a point when the game, or rather the franchise, it has a little bit of an identity crisis. It's definitely pulling itself together, but at the same time, they still don't have an entire direction in which they are going.
Interesting.
Because, like, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, they're both over the shoulder. I have seen some sentiments of people wanting... I probably know what that is. I don't think so, though. But anyway, but I have seen some sentiments of people wanting Resident Evil 8 and 9 to also be first person.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd totally be fine with that, too. I actually want that. But ultimately what it is that it's not... The biggest hurdle that it's overcoming still is this game, or this franchise, hasn't been scary in a while. And I mean, I know Jazz, if I may quote Jazz, that he loves Resident Evil 4, but he kind of hates it for the fact that 5 and 6 ended up becoming more action-oriented because of 4.
Correct.
And that's what I mean by the identity crisis, because they did over the shoulder, they did more action-y, they did all that stuff. Like, Capcom took the wrong notes in the wrong places. So, where they are now, they're trying to rebuild. The biggest thing that they're trying to secure is to make sure that the game is ultimately scary. And when they did Remake 2, they took a gamble, because when people saw Over the Shoulder, people were probably thinking to themselves, oh god, not this POV. But lo and behold, they were super faithful to my knowledge. I will add for that one, but they were like super faithful to like how the game was, but also switched it around just enough so that it was a fresh game. They were able to recreate some scenes in new ways so that they were able to meet up like the modern times. Like for example, like the crocodile scene. That's what I mean by meet up with the modern times. Because in the original, you just knock over a big tank and then you shoot at it. Whereas the croc in the remake, it's actually biting into a main gas line. And they added a mechanic that, while I am super pleased with, in Remake 2, I am curious if they're going to be able to keep it up or keep it fresh enough in Remake 3. But that would be the nemesis system of Mr. X.
Well, I've heard some things about that, and
Oh, for 3?
Yeah, about Mr. X, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
Oh man, you gotta tell me afterwards. I'll probably write you my notes.
The more I think about it, oh god.
There you go.
Nice.
But they pulled off something that they were notoriously bad at, and they kept atmosphere, they kept tension. The new engine, Capcom is clearly gonna get a good lot of miles out of it. And there are, I know for a lore hound like Jazz, he would have some problems with it. For me, as a casual, I think the game turned out amazing, and I am glad for the success.
Yeah.
And I believe that's about it.
All right. So, top worst of 2019, Wolfenstein: New Blood. So,
Isn't that the DLC with the 2 ladies?
you think it's DLC? It's actually a full game.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, it should have been DLC, but
Wow.
Well, okay. So before I really get into this one, there is one thing I will give them on this game being made, and that is the fact that it is co-op, and all you really need is one copy of the game to play it with a friend online.
That's cool.
So I would definitely give them that. However, this thing is microtransactions galore. It is grindy as fuck.
No.
The characters are absolute millennial trash. Like
what?
Like super memey, yeah boy, all this other bullshit. Like, this is not how people talk.
And they wouldn't talk like that in an alternate version of Earth.
Exactly. Like, who wrote this? And why?
Like, they'd be calling people my Schnell or something like that.
Exactly. And why does one girl keep saying the same thing over and fucking over again?
What's the phrase?
Oh yeah, boy.
Ew.
It's just over and over and over again. Stop.
I feel like you would say something like this, where it's like, I'm black and I joined the Nazis just to kill these guys.
Exactly. Stop it. Well, but and another theme that's going to be happening in the next game as well. Terrible AI. I kid you not. I was literally in front of the boss of one of these things. He did not shoot me once. I literally was right in front of him, and I killed him just laying bullets into him.
What?
He literally just stood there. Just like, hey, how you doing? Well, I guess I'm gonna get killed.
That's retarded.
It's just so bad. And then, like, you have to pay for, like, different colors of your suits and hair and all this stuff. It's just, that doesn't make sense. Why is this in the microtransactions part? Why am I paying just to have a different color on my suit?
That's fucking stupid, man.
This game is so bad. I can't get this stupid phrase out of my head. But I'm tired. This day does not deserve any more of my time.
Wow.
But funny enough, I am also with my friend here as far as my number 2 best of the year, Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Hey.
Now, as he said, when it comes to the lore, I am a little stickler on this one. However, there is a reason for this, and that is because this one was supposed to be more mainstream than the original RE2 was. Now, Here's the problem with that statement, and why they should have never made that statement. People will tend to take that and say, okay, then let's see how they would have told the story versus how we think the story really happened in 2. And then certain things happen in the story that don't make any sense. Now, actually, I'm going to ask you, should I go into the part I'm talking about? Because it's technically a spoiler.
I mean, the game's been out for a while. I think almost a year.
Okay, so other than like a whole bunch of other things, there's a literal thing in nearing the end of the game where both Claire and Leon end up going to a place. Now, in the actual canon part of it that makes sense, Claire gets there first. So because she has to unlock a cabinet in order to get, I think it's called Devil for Sherry, because she's sick. Now, Leon gets there second to get the G virus. Makes sense, right?
Right.
But then they both end up having to fight Birkin.
Right.
In his same form that gets mutated after the fact. And a certain character is there both times as well, which is Annette.
Right.
That's a problem in itself. But here's where the problem really gets into a really big problem. If you're with Claire, Annette basically ends up getting beaten so bad, but ends up going to Sherry in order to like say goodbye or whatever and fix her and stuff. And then she dies. If you're with Leon, Leon has to go with Ada and have a whole problem there, and then Ada gets shot by Annette, and then she dies there at the bridge. Which one is the canon thing? Because she can't be at both.
Right. I get you.
Like, even if you said per se, let's just say per se, that she got up after Claire and them were there, and whatever. That still doesn't make sense because the self-destruct sequence is happening at that very moment. There's no way she could have walked there, over back to where the Birkin fight was, and do all that with all that happening. that just doesn't make sense.
No, I think it comes a little bit down to poor planning.
Like, very poor planning. And there are other moments too similar to this, but I let those go because at the same time they did something that changed drastically as far as the original versus the new one, which is they made the G babies actually enemies instead of a boss, which I think is actually kind of cool. But because of that, I think they ran out of boss ideas a little bit, so they had to reuse some. Like I said, I'm fine with that. It is what it is. But that one in particular, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like, no matter how you really go about that. And it's like stuff like that kept kind of happening a little bit as the game went in, and that's why I have to kind of deduct it a little bit as my game of the year, per se. It's just like I can't do that. That being said, I love the game. Other than that, like the whole thing about Mr. X, and especially the mods that have come out of this thing, it's like it makes me laugh every time.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
And you actually have the goose from the Goose Game.
They put in the goose.
It's hilarious.
Oh wow!
Like, literally, like stuff like that. It's just, it makes the game that much better. So it's already great. And I love the fact that Mr. X is really much more of a threat this time around. They kept something that I didn't know that they were actually going to keep, which is the fact that he can break through the wall downstairs and actually freak you out. Although I love the way they did this because he doesn't always do it. So you're wondering, even if you played the game multiple times, is he going to do it this time or not?
And I mean, like, you gotta love the fucking memes of the fucking I had the name, like Run DRM or no fucking what's the
DMX?
What's the guy's name? Run DMX, yeah, that's it.
Not Run DMX, it's just DMX.
Oh, I thought it was Run. Wait, but
Run DMC is the one you're thinking of.
Oh, fucking shows how much how much I know about hip hop and rap and shit. I listen to heavy metal. Get off my back, internet. But yeah, like the fucking the meme about the fucking X gonna give it to you song.
Oh yeah, the fact that that didn't get played in some YouTube rewind thing or whatever is atrocious.
That is.
And it's like there's so many things to love about this game, and honestly, other than those tidbits, as far as like the story went, I loved how they expanded on Chief Irons. I love how they kind of expanded more on Ada a little bit, and some of the other characters like Kendo. And even still, to this day, they're expanding on Kendo because they just added a letter as DLC into his shop telling you that Kendo knows Jill. And Jill actually came back for him. But he wasn't there, I guess. So she left a note saying, hey, we can still help you if you want, or whatever. And it's like they're still adding stuff to this game that makes it even more expand on the lore. And I love that. Yeah, I love the game. It almost would have made my game of the year, but just I can't get over that fact. But now we're gonna get into our games of the year, starting with Mrmoopsy. Or not. Oops, you there?
Sorry, I had the mute on.
No, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Because what I want to do is, I'm gonna say the first letter, and if it's the game if it's the game we're thinking of, I want to do like a joint kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because does it start with a D?
No, it starts with an 8. No, it's a D.
Okay, I'm gonna say mine, and then we can go off from there. Okay.
Yeah.
My pick for number 1 is Devil May Cry 5.
Holy crap! No way! It's crazy.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
What? No. But no, yeah, mine's also the same. Devil May Cry 5.
All right, then let's just both go into it. And then you can have the section of worst game for 2019 all for yourself.
Woo!
But, oh my god. Like, if you guys have fucking ever checked out our Devil May Cry 5 review, a lot of that stuff, basically everything holds up.
Still, so even more so now.
Yeah. The game is still amazing. I've gone back and I haven't beaten it again, but that's because I've been working so hard to try and beat the Bloody Palace.
Yeah.
I can't do it, Squidward.
And thankfully, I have beaten the Bloody Palace with the V. That wasn't easy at all.
Yeah, because I'm trying to beat it with Dante, and I always die at level like 96, 97, and I keep like whenever I die there, I just fucking think, am I fucking cursed or something?
Yeah, man. And when I kept going at it, I kept dying at Virgil. So it was just like, fuck, I just can't get through this.
Yeah, and there's rumors about about them adding new stuff to the game, and I pray to God that it's true, because one of them is like there's a video on Twitter from the Devil May Cry account where one of them is an obvious allusion to Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that fucking plays the game was probably thinking, like, please let it be playable Virgil, please let it be playable Virgil, please let it be playable Virgil. And, I mean, as of this recording, we don't know, but one can hope.
One can definitely hope. Yeah, I'd be all 100% down for that.
And I'm gonna be trying to fucking... Like, I'm not playing it at the moment because I got a lot of fucking shit in my backlog.
Mm-hmm.
And I even have a fucking movies backlog. That's how fucking backlogged I am. Jax has seen the list.
Yep. Yes, I have. And it is long.
And it's movies, so it's extra long.
Mm.
But that said, though, Devil May Cry 5 is a game that I still fucking love to just pop in and just turn my brain off and just fucking kill everything in my path.
And it should.
Like, if there was... Because I know that there's some trophies where it says, like, oh, you know, spill, like, 10,000 gallons of blood or something like that, some fucking stupid number. They should have had it be like spill. Like they should have had a gold trophy say something along the lines of like spill 100 billion gallons of blood or something like that. Because I'd be like, I can reach that in a weekend.
No, I did that yesterday.
Exactly.
Nah, yeah, that's definitely my game of the year. I had way too much fun with that game.
I know, and if they keep adding stuff to it, if they do add playable version, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna be here for like another couple months.
Yep. But
And
if you want a full-on review, gotta go check it out.
Yeah, I was just about to plug that.
But I'll probably link it in the description if you want to hear that. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeep.
But I guess we can move on to my top worst of the year. Oh boy.
Hooray.
There's a good chance, dear listener, that you probably know what this is. It is Contra Rogue Core. I literally don't understand in a game like Contra why on God's earth would you ever think guns overheating is a good idea.
Oh, horrible idea.
Why on earth did you think this was good? Like, I could go an entire year just on that alone. And also, the graphics, not even PS1 era, I would say. And I would also say that the fact that you made a panda into a weird military warrior thing, and it's still stupid as shit to look at. Like, how do you mess that up? I don't understand. Like, it's already kind of a weird little concept that should be really thought about, right? How did you mess that up? And well, I was just gonna go to the bosses and whatnot, but you got.
Oh, because I was just gonna say, like, I guess, because how does it compare to? You might have played this one. I'm not sure. It was a PS3 era store game called Hardcore.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
How is this compared to this one? Because I thought that one was okay, although a little bit weird because it almost seemed like Arc Sys made it.
Yeah, no, I played that one way over this 10 billion times over.
Wow.
Like, it's not even I don't even have to choose. The second you put those two up, I'm going to the other one. Like, literally everything about this was just so bad. The bosses are awful and cheap and literally hit you in ways like, how did I get hit is literally half that game. Like, there was literally a time, I wish I had recording on it when I was playing it, but the boss literally had like this huge buzzsaw thing, and it was on the opposite side of the wall I was at, and it still hit me.
What?
How? It doesn't make any sense. And I think one of the biggest sins, outside of the guns overheating, is the fact that the stages have repeated assets. So it literally looks like you went to the exact same stage again, but you didn't. You're in a different stage, but it looks like the last stage. I don't get it. I don't get how this got made. How?
Does Konami even really think that they're a game company anymore?
At this point, I don't even know if they know what they are anymore.
Maybe just sell like card games and shit like that, because like as a game company, they're not even on the board anymore.
No, it's a joke. Oh man, that game gives me a headache, and I'm not even playing it right now.
Like they make Arslan Ash on his worst day look like a top tier player.
Exactly. 10 out of 10. But no, I'm not going anywhere in that game. That game gives me a headache.
And that game gave me headaches too.
No, that is my top 5 best and worst games of 2019. and as well as my friend Mrmoopsy here. And now we can yeet that one out the window and talk about Joker and the fifth character Smash being revealed and the reactions to both. Which the fifth character's name is Byleth, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So.
Also, Jess, can I also add like one thing real quick?
Sure.
Whenever you say when we can yeet that out the window, can you put in like little screams?
I will try my best.
All right. Yeah, it's Violet. But yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's Violet.
Yeah, so nobody wanted this character except for Fire Emblem fans.
Yeah.
Get this out of the way now.
Apparently, because I saw this video earlier today, Zero, he said he's a Fire Emblem fan. He did not want this character in. He said it's like he's all right with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said he's all right with the character joining Smash. It wasn't his first pick.
Mm.
The big thing for him though is that the way that the Smash fans reacted is not good.
Oh no. Like, if you look at the not reaction video, but the actual trailer video for it, it's at 34% dislikes. That's,
Honestly, I feel like if it wasn't for the Fire Emblem fans, that dislike bar would probably be bigger.
Most likely. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I do wonder, now that he's literally said that nobody really at Nintendo really knew what was happening, I wonder what their thought process is on it.
Because I think a lot of people are just generally... I think a lot of people would have generally the same idea. If we talk to Zero, if we talk to Keith, we talk to like a lot of famous people, not Leffen.
We don't talk about Leffen.
Yeah. I think that they would come up with the same idea, which is ultimately they brought him in because of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Three Houses was a good like it sold well. It won some awards. I don't think it won a lot. I know it won Game Awards for sure, but
yeah.
But that's about it, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought him in because the game's popular, so we got to throw him in there. Like I think it was more of a higher ups decision than Sakurai.
Yeah, it makes sense. Although, didn't he say that even some higher ups didn't know what it was?
I know that he said like because I was fucking half asleep when I was watching it. I had just barely woken up,
mm-hmm.
and so I was like, what's on YouTube? But I think he said like a lot of people like that were in the room when they were recording the video didn't know. I don't know if he said anything about higher ups.
I swear he did.
I mean, it's possible because, like I'm saying, I could be wrong. I was like half dead. But I do think that Byleth, like he's a corporate decision ultimately. Like that's my stance on it.
Makes sense. It also makes sense that this sucks. No. No, I told Mrmoopsy that, and for anybody asking why didn't I do a reaction to this like everybody else, I don't care.
Just don't play Smash.
Like if it was something like Dante, like everybody thought it was, I would do one. The second I saw this character, I was like, I don't care. And Joker literally just came out like the very same minute. It's like I care more about that than this.
Because what was it you told me that like as soon as that you saw like the old guy from Fire Emblem, you were like, nope.
Yep, I noped right out of there. Especially since I saw Joker was like right there when it started. It's just like, wow, what bad timing. Oh, it's somebody I don't care about. Okay, then yeet.
Yeah. So like, if it makes sense why Jazz didn't do a reaction. Because so many times, because I think he's even said it like our post Evo podcast, where he said the only reason I was watching the Smash tournaments is because Mrmoopsy was there.
Exactly. Like I kid you not, if he was not there, I would not care.
If he ain't there, I don't care. Put that on a T-shirt.
Boom.
Now we have merchandise.
Yeah, it's just I just, especially since I don't even really know what's happening. I didn't play Fire Emblem, so it's just like, whatever.
I still haven't beaten it.
As you can see with a lot of other reactions, it probably would have been the exact same thing. Like, okay, he's here, it's happening. This is the choice they made. We have to deal with it. There's 6 more characters coming out. Maybe we'll get ours there.
Yeah, I think it was in a Keith video where he basically said that it was either him or Zero, where they said they did this on purpose, like in that order, because they since they even made it super aware in the trailer that the whole too many sword characters argument. I gotta turn off that printer. Since they made the whole too many sword fighters joke. They said Nintendo's aware of this. Let's just fucking get him out there, so that we can announce the next DLC characters and Cuphead and all that stuff.
Which, funny enough, there's so many memes about that now. Like,
yeah,
so many. Like, there's one with the SpongeBob thing where SpongeBob like, pops his heads out, and then he pops out Cuphead. It's like, yeah, and then Violet pops his head out, and nobody's clapping.
Yeah, I retweeted it on my Twitter. I like this one better because it was like all like the whole scene was hand drawn. It's instead of just like putting in like little stills over the characters. But it was basically that scene.
It's just, I love how like Cuphead, a me costume was more exciting than that. Oh man, but needless to say, a lot of people are definitely not happy. And I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what you get when you go for a pass that you don't know what's in the pass. You're probably not gonna get everything you want. It's just the matter of averages. Go ahead.
I've gone on record before. I don't like Banjo-Kazooie. To me, he's a wasted slot character.
It's like, just going on like an example for me, Tekken 7's season pass. I didn't know everybody was in there. I hate Marduk. Oh well. Well, it's just the luck of the draw. You just gotta get used to it. If you're gonna do that, you gotta take the punches. and to be honest, I'm gonna say something that I know a lot of people are not gonna like. But you can't tell me that this isn't one of the most diverse season passes.
No, it absolutely is. I don't care what anybody says. It absolutely is. You like, because it's 2 characters from an RPG, one from a platformer, one from a fighting game, and one from a strategy game.
Like, there's literally something for pretty much a lot of people here.
Yeah, there's a character for everybody. For me, it's mostly Terry, and I kind of like the hero.
And I would even make this argument. That's, I know another person's not gonna like it. I told them they didn't like this, but I would even argue the fact that if Byleth was in the middle of the season pass, this would not have blown up nearly as bad. Like, I almost guarantee you, it's the fact that he was at the end that made this a problem. I think
it's a lot of little things.
Yeah,
I think it's that he was the last character. Because I like, the whole thing about like sword characters, specifically a Fire Emblem characters, it's a thing that's definitely been like an argument for a while now. And so to put that at the end of the Smash Pass, it's nothing but like a ticking time bomb. Because people would have lost their shit if the last character was Banjo.
Exactly. Like, I think that we would not be here right now, in my opinion. That we would not be here right now if Banjo was the last one.
Honestly,
this is the greatest thing ever.
Another thing that I also feel like would have been And also, fucking people don't play banjo.
Exactly right. It's literally Lay. The exact same thing. Everybody's like, "Where's Lay? He's in the game. Nobody plays him."
Yeah. There's some like I've seen some forum posts where people say like I play banjo, and it's like who are you? uh, but yeah, because there's two spaces where I think that, and funnily enough, they're both in the same spot. There's two spaces where Byleth could have gone, and they would not have had as bad of a reaction. Still negative, but not as bad. In season 1, probably after Joker. Because then people would have thought, oh, okay, now it's business as usual. Yeah, I don't like this, but we can still see what the rest of the season is. So second spot. Or I think that they should have, or what they could have done, which I think would have been the better option, is they could have released a different character for season 1, pushed Byleth back to the second slot in season 2.
Yeah, that would probably have been better. But, it's happened. It's there. There's nothing we can do about it. Wait for the next 6 characters, and most likely, you're probably going to get something else that you want. That's all I'm going to say.
Plus, I mean, like, that's basically 1 out of 5 ain't bad.
Yeah.
Like, one out of 5 is like, oh my god, all these characters that are so fucking amazing, and one bad one, God forbid.
No, my day is forever ruined.
And I mean, like, I'll say this too. I don't like Byleth either. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just I'm more trying to defend the devs because, like, I don't know if you've heard this thing, Jazz, but like the way that the Nintendo fans are starting to get out of control with I forget the name of the dude that's in charge of, or like the producer for Pokemon. How he got death threats on his birthday.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't want that happening to Sakurai either.
Yeah.
Like, that shit shouldn't happen, but people are starting to get really fucking stuck up. Well, stuck up and ready. Yeah. Because I'm like, if I ever become a game dev, which is something I actually am trying to gun for, if somebody says, "Oh well, I hope somebody fucking like breaks into your house and kills you," I hope somebody. If I'd be fucking like too angry and like answering back, I hope somebody fucking breaks into your house and rapes your mom and kills her.
And
I'd be like,
end up in Murray's situation where people's like, "That was too far. You should be calming the hell down." And then there'll be all bunch of videos and Reddit threads and shit.
And I'd be like, fuck. And I'd be like, yeah, what kind of double standard bullshit is this? Like, fucking, it's not fair that these guys have to come on and talk shit to me like that.
But you're supposed to be the better man. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Hey, check it out, Trace Stream.
Hey, let me tell you what my favorite developer likes to say. Shut up! Sit the hell down!
Don't ask me for shit!
But no. I guess we're off with Byleth and we can go to Joker now.
I am glad I'm glad he's not Injustice Joker.
I am right there with you. And like I just pointed out earlier, I didn't love his face when they first showed it, and they changed it drastically right now, and it's perfect in my opinion.
I need to double check because it's possible it could just be a costume.
The costume? No, it's the same costume he has in the CGI trailer. No, they just changed his face. They did something similar with Supergirl and Injustice.
I need to compare them.
Yeah. But, like, he looks like a boy in the CGI one.
That he does.
Yeah. It's like keep telling people when they look at NRS stuff, it's just like, man, that looks so bad. It's like, just wait. Like, they hear you, they're going to change it, and you're going to love it. Just like every other time this has happened.
Yeah. Also, just kind of a connecting point between the two characters. I've seen some people comment on the Joker trailer, like, who else is here to watch the whole Byleth reaction to watch their eyes?
No. I mean...
Yeah, Jazz technically did that.
I mean... I'm not gonna say it, but it was definitely a nice little palette sweat. I mean, I'm not gonna... It was fun. It was so fun to watch. The cartooniness, the violence, I loved all of it. I don't think there was any real like thing that I didn't like about his trailer. But then
I think
again, well, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say then again, I think I can say that about almost all the trailers I've seen of the DLC characters. But at the same time, I like to add the caveat that this looks good in the trailer, but how do they play in the actual game?
Yeah, because isn't like Terminator basically dead?
Yes and no. There's still some Terminator fans out there playing him in tournaments, but he definitely isn't as big as he was at the start.
Yeah.
And because honestly, I could say the same thing probably about the. I will guarantee you, I will put this down right now. I'm probably gonna say the exact same thing when Spawn's trailer come out. This looks amazing and everything. I wonder how he plays.
Yeah, it's like on the Spawn trailer, it's like, oh my god, yes, this is fucking.
It's like he's gonna look amazing, but what is his tournament variations? Because those are the things I'm gonna be using if I want to play Combat League. Oh, he plays like crap. Alrighty then.
It's like, why did you guys do this to Keith David?
Who I don't know if they actually ever did confirm that.
Didn't he confirm it?
I think he said something about it, but it was never confirmed. Which is one of those things where it's just like, okay, that he was voicing him.
Okay, we'll put this down in chat because I'm pretty sure that Keith David said he was voicing Spawn in Mortal Kombat.
I think he said he wanted to, but it was never really confirmed.
Throw a link down below and let us know because this is just two people. So
yeah, I'm fairly sure though.
This is two people. One of them's mentally damaged.
And the other one's me. I will say though that I still think he could have been another person, like another character could have taken that slot. And before anybody says, no, not Melina, I love the character to death, but I'm not going to say that. But I do think there could have been another character to take his spot in this season pass. Especially since, well, go ahead.
Because I was going to say that, like, there is one character that people were led to believe was going to be in that didn't show up.
Who's that?
Ash Williams.
Well, we're not going to go there. Because if you look at that leak...
Well, because there was also that photo, don't forget.
But that's what I mean, the photo.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was also turned out to be photoshopped or something.
No, it was real.
Oh, damn.
It's like he was supposed to be there, but the thing is though, it's just like I was gonna say, like, he doesn't even go along with the movie that came out because it's just way far away, and he doesn't even have, well, as far as I know, they haven't showed all the costumes yet, but he doesn't even have like a reference to the movie.
For which character?
Joker.
Oh, okay.
But no, he does have a what's his name reference, a Heath Ledger reference. So that's interesting. But honestly, I think it's gonna end up like me and Sindel. I'll probably try them out for a week. I'm gonna notice that their tournament variations are not nearly as fun as I thought they were gonna be, and then I'm gonna drop the game again. Although I will say it's probably going to take me longer to do this because I do like that Katana Catwoman costume. Although I will probably be taking the mask off. I don't like the mask, but I do like that skin. It looks very good. And I also was wondering, because you have the game, what are your thoughts on Garrus Darkseid?
It definitely makes sense considering he is well, I guess it makes sense in a shape sense. Because I was gonna say it makes sense because he's time. It's like, no, he's not. Because I don't think it would fit on Shao Kahn as well as some people might think.
Yeah.
But then again, well, go ahead.
Yeah, so, yeah, I feel like it fits Garrus way more.
Yeah, I think that like in terms of like body type and all that, it fits Garrus way more. Plus, he's probably like considering how like deadpan and all that stuff he is. Like personality wise, he's probably the closest one out of the roster too.
Yeah. But is there anything else we want to add for the Joker?
Joker. For me, I'm not surprised the Joker ended up making it in. Because I mean, we've literally seen this kind of crap from NRS before. So anybody that's surprised that the Joker is in, I don't think that they should, because like we've seen this how many times?
Yeah, I just think it should have been another. If we're gonna add a DC character, just other DC characters we could have had. They can be just as violent.
Yes, but in like I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate here because I kind of didn't want Joker in the beginning too, but it's not Injustice 2. It's not the Injustice Joker. Like this Joker actually looks more manic and insane, and kind of how he should have been in Injustice.
Exactly, which makes me hate it even more.
Get him out of here!
Yeah, I feel like there could have been other characters that could have taken that spot. If it had to be a DC character, there's still other characters that could have taken that spot.
Because I mean, they could have done this treatment for Lobo.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. I don't know. I do know one person that's very happy, and that's well, I say one person, but it's Sonic Fox. Let's just say that.
Oh my god! If somebody draws him like a version of his avatar, kind of like Jokerized.
Ugh, furry Joker. Yeah.
Moving
on from that. Is there anything else you want to hit the Joker?
I was just gonna fucking say, if you hate what I just said, let me know in the chat.
It's like everybody just comes up, fucking hey!
Number one on trending because people want to hate me so much.
It's just nothing but this is number one bullshit.
But no, I love I'm curious to see what the costumes are going to be. I'm a little surprised that Noob Saibot got Batman Who Laughs.
Yes and no. Although I hate that I didn't recognize what that was. It registered. Then again, it was super early in the morning.
Yeah, we were both just like half asleep. But I'm more pro Joker than I was when they initially announced the combat pack. And I mean, honestly, I almost feel like I hope that this Joker ends up making it into like the next Injustice rather than the same, honestly, kind of tame Joker that they've got in that game.
I'm not gonna lie, I hope he doesn't make it at all. He's dead. Leave him dead. Stick to your fucking guns.
Dude, after the first Injustice storyline, I wouldn't expect them to stick to their guns.
Of course not. He brought back Superman.
Not just that, but it's they said, "Oh well, fucking Batman has to go against an evil Justice League." No, he doesn't. Stop doing this, DC.
Holy shit! Oh my gosh, this is gonna be dark as hell in another universe. God damn it!
Seriously.
No, but I guess we can eat that one out there. And we can go to our New Year's resolutions. And technically our last year in review of the pod, which is going to be very short for me because I thought we did fun.
Yeah, for me, it's the most important thing is we had fun. We did have some people like join us, and that's pretty cool. I kind of hope they stick around. And if they can't or don't, then that's fine too. But ultimately, we're having fun with this, so I don't really think that there's like anything we have to make like a big deal out of.
Mm-hmm.
Although the podcast moment of the year still stands.
If you don't know, you need to go watch our other episodes. Just saying.
Yeah, you might have to find it.
Just saying. But I guess, do you want to go with your resolutions first or mine?
Honestly, because shit was so hectic over on my end, I didn't have time to make resolutions.
Which is fair. I
Yeah,
just,
because like Jess knows what was going on with me. I could not make them.
mm-hmm. But, mine, I made the list on my Twitter. Go follow that. But shameless plug.
Heckin' bamboozled.
But mine is basically to get high ranks in Soul Calibur, to attend 2 tournaments, which come March, that'll be final round. It'll be my 2 tournaments, although I will be going to another one after that. More on that later. And the next one will be 2 videos and 2 streams a week. So far, so good.
Hey.
And 4 is to hit either 500 subs on YouTube or 500 followers on Twitch. Either or. I'm not going to split them up this time. Just do it. Either or.
There needs to be a 5 somewhere.
Yeah. And number 5 would have been to add some in real life people into my circle of groups of friends, which I've already kind of added one person in there. He was actually here yesterday, which was Cleveland.
Cleveland Brown?
Yes. Cleveland Brown. And I'm gonna eat him right out the second I say no. And I'm gonna be doing some more of that in this Soul Calibur thing that I keep getting invited to but never go. I'm finally gonna go. I promise. You can go back here if I lie. And then finally on 6 is to basically just center myself. I feel like I've been stretched apart lately, and I'm just going to do me. So there's that. And those are my resolutions.
All right.
And I think, because I really, like, I'm not kidding, January is a shit show as far as actual stories go. So unless you have something to add, that's it for me.
No, like my shit over on my end is finally like stabilizing. We got to, like, in terms of my family stuff, we got to like we got to put in a little bit more work to make sure that, like, because what we want to do on my end is like not only just stabilize but also strengthen some. So, and we're gonna be starting to work on that like next week, like around Thursday. But other than that, it's like I like once shit's stable over here, then I'm gonna like start looking for like a job and shit.
Fair enough.
But you know what? I will say though that while I am also on some downtime, I probably should start working a bit more on some of my other side projects like drawings and shit. Because I have started to prep for that Dead or Alive video I said I was gonna make. That's why I was asking for the songs for like suggestions. I haven't looked into them yet. And I also did try to. I did find a My song though that I could use. But other than that, also her theme's not as like crazy as I thought it was, as I was hoping for. Like it's just pretty chill. But other than that, not like it's been too crazy for a moment, and now I just want to relax.
Fair enough. Makes sense to me. Then I guess that's it then.
Alright, so thank you everybody for joining us on episode 28 of the No Name Podcast. As Eddie once said, we don't need names, and I forgot how the rest of it went.
Nice. But I guess we can do our plugs if they do that. You have your stuff?
Yes, follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube. Pretty much just those two. I've just like whittled it down to those two because everything else either don't have or don't wish to share.
Fair enough.
But yeah, well, I'll fucking plug this too. Follow me on Instagram too because that's where I also post in some of my drawings. All Mrmoopsy.
Word. And you can follow me at All Things Cosmo Jazz. There is a series that I'm working on. Well, there's two series I'm working on. One that will start in February, and one will start on next week. The one on next week is going to be going around the thing that I tend to get around to, which is like I have something I want to do a video on, but I just don't have the time to do it. I found a workaround of doing this, and we're going to try it out a couple of times and see how it goes. And just to give you a little tidbit of what is going to be in this video, it's going to be talking about something like the Mortal Kombat story and how you could fix Frost's character in the thing. Just as a little tidbit. It's going to be a lot more than that, but just to give you a taste.
I was actually gonna say, have you started working on that Mortal Kombat video?
Mortal Kombat video.
The one about the shit that you would have changed about Mortal Kombat 11.
That's going into this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And if it works out, we'll keep doing it. And if not, I'll try to find something else with these things. But that'll be next week. And then there's a big one that's going to be involving Tekken that's going to be next month. But I can't tell you any more than that as of now. But look forward to that on my YouTube channel. And I think that's about it from me. Happy January, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful new year so far. And we'll see you next time.
See ya February, nerds.
Light up, bitches. And I am